Hi, I'm Latrina Patrick with Greater Vision Consulting. I specialize in work with nonprofit organizations and also new and aspiring grant writers. I actually help nonprofit organizations to develop better programming so that they can be more successful and more effective when they actually apply for grant funding. And I help new and aspiring grant writers by offering training and development services to teach them how to be better, more effective, and more successful grant writers. Today I want to talk for a few minutes just to offer a few tips from some observations I made when I was reviewing grants the past couple of months. The past couple of months I spent a lot of time reviewing grants for the feds and also at a county level, and I tend to have a lot of opinions when I come out of grant reviews because I learn so much and then I see so much, so I tend to want to share any insights to help people become better and more effective. And so I just want to give you a couple of tips that I have observed. This is mostly for that new nonprofit leader or grant writer who is submitting grants and not really so sure how this whole thing goes. And so let me just make a couple of quick observations. I always say that the main reason that most grants don't get funded is usually something simple. They don't follow instructions. So be very mindful of instructions, even when it comes to formatting, font, spacing. All those things are taken into account before it ever gets to a reviewer, so you don't want to do all that work and then it not be read. So just be mindful of that because that happens, and it happened in the last review that I just did a month or so ago. The other thing is I want to say is to make sure, first and foremost, that the priorities of that funding announcement and those funders needs to align with your organization's mission and vision statement. That's half the battle. If you are applying for something that you are really qualified for and also you do what they want to fund, that's half the battle right there. Most people don't do that. A lot of people think they can chase dollars because they do something similar or they work with a similar target population. So you want to align your mission and your vision with the funding announcements that you pursue. That's going to help you to be a little more successful because you already know you do what they want to fund. The other thing is make sure that you have the fiscal capacity. If you're applying for funding and the funding that you're applying for exceeds your organizational budget, that's really not a good sign because funders and reviewers are looking to see if you're going to be able to implement the programming as proposed, and they want to make sure that you're going to be successful. If your budget is $150,000 a year and you're applying for a grant that's $300,000 a year, you're not going to get that money. So be mindful that when you're applying for these type of opportunities, you need to be able to operate your program for a month or two without any funding coming in from an outside source. Most money, especially Fed money, is reimbursable funding, not funding to get started or to implement your program. They're going to pay you back for the work you've done. And if you can't carry that program over a period of time before getting your first check, you're not going to be successful and you're not going to be funded. And then the last thing I want to say is be good about describing your organization, your capabilities, and your competencies. Funders are looking to make sure that you're qualified to do what it is that you said. So make sure that you give a really great description of your organization, how long you've been doing this, how long you've been working with a very specific population, your credentials as an organization, your staff's credentials and their resume. So you really want to describe how effective you are at doing the work that you do so that they feel comfortable with giving you the funding to do this work, because it's all about being qualified and competent to do it. So those are just a couple of suggestions that I wanted to offer. I want to be, simple things because it's usually the simple things that get people in the most trouble. And if you are someone who is looking to learn even more about grants and you're in the Atlanta area, I'm teaching a class, a boot camp actually, coming up on Saturday, August 10th. So if you're in the Atlanta area and you want to get in on that, go to my website at www.greatervisionconsulting.com and you can register under the training link. I'll give specifics about locations once you're registered, but this is a really great chance to get some hands-on writing experience and to learn as much as you possibly can in an all-day course. So go to www.greatervisionconsulting.com and I hope to see you in class. If not, I hope you learned a lot from these tips today. Talk to you soon. Bye.